Bad news is last talk of the day. The good news is we're going to get some hands-on fun with AI or machine learning. I'm never quite sure which word to use, so I'll just go for both. It's also your chance to meet my lead software engineering team who are now scattered with monitors around the edges of the room. But before I pass you over to them, I'm going to have my chance to ramble about AI for a little bit. So I think we're aware that AI has never been more powerful than it is today, and it's only getting better. We've got range of lots of different AI and machine learning tools, whether it's GPT-4, PyTorch, TensorFlow. These tools are out there, and they've got the potential to revolutionize your business or your research. However, I'm going to take a slightly different tact with my section and talk about AI has never been more accessible than it is now. I mean, the original slide said easy, and then developers said, don't call it easy, Tim. Our job is really hard. Just say accessible. Now I'm going to say AI's never been more accessible than it is now. With many machine learning models, you need to train them on your problem before you can use them. Being able to train models is really powerful, and it gives you a lot of flexibility. Now, one of the projects we did last year, the client changed their mind about what they wanted halfway through, as clients do. But because it was a trained AI model rather than classical programming, that wasn't such a big deal. We did the training again. We were lucky that this was generated images, so using some Blender skills, we were able to generate a whole bunch more objects to train on, and everything was fine. However, I know a lot of you in the room are doing revolutionary new ideas, and getting training data is really hard. This is where pre-trained models can save you, and it can save you a lot of effort. My analogy here is with Boston Dynamics and their dog called Spot. They must have spent hundreds of thousands of hours trying to teach that how to open a door. But today, you can buy for, I looked it up, they didn't really tell you a price, but I found someone said about 75 grand. You can buy a dog for £75,000 and just say, open a door, and it will do it. It's pre-trained. The same is true with AI. So I'm going to introduce you today, and my team are going to introduce you to Microsoft Azure Cognitive Services. Other AI tools are available. And we're going to show you vision, language, and speech. I like these cognitive services because they're very convenient to use. There is an API we can call through standard protocols, and it returns a whole bunch of really useful and interesting information. Even better for the financially minded of you in the audience, you're not paying 75 grand for one of these. We're talking £1 for 1,000 API calls. So we can get a lot of stuff done quite cheaply. And actually, in contrast to running virtual machines to run your own algorithm, that's probably costing you about £100 a month, but I can run thousands of these for pounds. So I'm going to show you a few of these. Firstly, we've got the vision service. So the vision service allows us to interrogate an image to identify, locate, and analyze objects. Basically, we provide the API with an image, and it will come back to us with, here are the objects, these are the coordinates of the objects, so you can draw boxes around them, and we'll even give you some tags for those objects. I mean, you've probably already seen this if you're using Microsoft Office. If you put pictures in your slide deck, as I may have done recently, it will come up with some alternative text for those images based on these algorithms. Other potential use cases that might interest you is detecting particular images you're looking for from your camera feed. Or maybe if you've got a website where you're asking members of the public to upload images, you could actually validate they're sending you the images you want them to send. There's even additional bits of the API if you want to filter out any obscene images. Make sure your staff don't have to see nonsense that the public is sending you. If you're interested in AI vision, Peter's the one with that demo. Peter's the guy at the back of the room there. The second service I am going to show you, or my team are going to show you, because good leadership is about delegation, is the language service. So James over there, he's got a really fun demo, which Kaz spoiled slightly, but James has got one where we can classify text by sentiment, and hopefully you've collected some data, James, from that form, and we can see the sentiment of your feedback on that. And I think this is a really useful thing for processing stuff like social media feeds about your product. You can kind of quickly classify what people are saying about your product. The language model on Azure Cognitive Services does lots of other things. So Mark has got another interesting demo there, showing how you can identify key phrases and entities in your text. And he's got a really fun demo where he can pull out medical information from medical reports or even elements of classical literature, and he can pull out medical information from them. He can also use that to anonymize information, so redact the text, so it's then anonymized. Finally, we've got Greg, and I gesture to an empty desk. Hey, Greg. He's at the back, but he'll be over here. He's going to be demonstrating speech services. We can do speech to text, speaker identification, and text to speech. Greg has got a demo where he can turn, I've written here, Greg, anything you say, so we'll see how true that is, into English. So please visit him, especially if you speak another language. Yeah. It's a really useful service to have, and that's probably why it's already on your mobile phone in your pocket. So you're probably sitting here thinking it's not entirely groundbreaking. However, the reason I brought it here to show you today is to show you how accessible it is. Like, this service opens possibility for voice control of your software, or you could actually have voice feedback to your user. Maybe you've got a scenario where the user can't see the screen. Maybe you've got users with visual impairments and they just can't see the screen. Well, this is a service that's available to you, and it's something that we can add to your product. Now, before I hand over to the team, I wanted to have a little ramble about GPT-4. As we've been preparing for this conference, there's been this AI revolution. It is moving faster than my ability to write slides. While putting this together, I was having a lot of fun playing around with Bing, Bard, even DALL-E. In fact, those two images that you saw on my previous slides were generated by DALL-E, which actually really useful for getting images that currently no one's got copyright on. So it's really great at that. What I learned from using DALL-E is AI is all about robots in front of blue LED lights. Because no matter what I put through, if it said AI, robots, blue LED lights, that's what you're talking about. Now, the exciting news is that 4 weeks ago, Microsoft announced that we could get GPT-4 and DALL-E through the same OpenAI service we're using cognitive services through, which means that my team were really excited to, hey Tim, you know how we've prepped a workshop? Why don't we throw that away and let's do it again in GPT-4? We resisted that temptation, but it's now available for all of us here to use. And I've got a team that are really interested in building stuff with GPT-4. So if you see potential for your product or your research there, please speak to us. Now, that's the end of my rambling, hopefully. I'm going to invite you soon to get up out of your seats and go visit my team on their desks in the corners of the room. The demos, we've got about 15 minutes each, so hopefully you can visit a few tables. We've also published our demos, and that QR code there will take you to the website where the demos are. And as long as no breaking changes we made last night break it, I believe it works on mobile, or at least most of them work on mobile. Please tell me they work on mobile, guys. I also want to say that on our tables, we're going to show you how this code can be integrated into your products. I want it to be an interactive session, so please ask questions, whether those are questions about how the code works, if you're technically minded, or if you're results focused, about what kind of results we can get out of this and explore those results. One final thing, since this is the last talk of the day, I just want to say a big thank you to all of our speakers. A big thank you to Siobhan, who's put a lot of effort into this, and also for all of you for turning up, because we did have a bit of a panic a month or so ago when we're like, oh no, have we booked a room that's too big? Please tell me we can fill this room. And we have, so I'm very happy about that. Now, we've also got a drinks reception thing afterwards. Siobhan's got the wine locked away until after the workshop, so we don't get too creative. But there will be that later, and me, Rachel, the team will be around to have a good chat with everyone. But that's enough from me. I now encourage everyone to get out of their chairs and meet the team, and hopefully we've got some working demos and the Wi-Fi's working, guys.